Hey everybody, and welcome back. My name is Stephanie, and today we're going to make our own pumpkin puree, and we're going to freeze it, which is going to save you a ridiculous amount of money at the store this autumn season if you have the chance to grow your own pumpkins. And it's also going to be so much better for you because everything homemade is better, right guys? So this is actually incredibly easy to do. Just make sure that you guys are always using safe and clean kitchen practices. If you guys are kids, make sure that you get an adult's help with your knives and the oven and all that good stuff. But so the first thing that we've done is I just harvested this lovely pumpkin out of the garden, and we quick went through and wiped any mud and that good stuff off of it. This pumpkin is in really good shape, so we don't have to worry about rot spots or anything to that effect. This type of pumpkin is actually called a Long Island cheese pumpkin. That's why it's not quite as orange as the ones that you see in the store. This is actually specifically a culinary pumpkin, and it's actually considered to be a chef's delight, but you absolutely can do this with your normal bright orange carving pumpkins as well. The only difference is the flesh is tastier on a culinary pumpkin, and the skin is also much thinner, which makes it a lot easier to work with. First thing that we're going to do is go ahead and just cut this baby right in the half.
Cut that.
Yeah. Okay, now that you've got this guy good and in half, we're going to go ahead and take a large spoon, just like you were carving a pumpkin, and we're going to take all the seeds out of this guy here and put them inside. Oh, I'm making a mess over here. Remember that there's always fun things that you guys can do with your pumpkin seeds. I'm personally going to be saving some of these seeds for planting next year, and I will be making another video on exactly how to save your seeds from different types of gourds and squash. So make sure that you guys subscribe and look for that video coming out. Okay, so I have all the seeds cleared out of my pumpkin, and I also took the stem off very carefully with a smaller knife. And now there are many different ways to put this in the oven. The way that I like best is what I'm going to show you. Now my oven is already preheated to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And I've got a baking sheet here. You can use a large roasting pan if you would like as well. I'm going to put my 2 pumpkin halves down, face side down. If your pumpkins are too big, you can cut these guys into quarters as well if you need to, but it works best in halves. Now I'm going to put these in the oven, and once they're in the oven, I'm going to take a cup and add just about as much water as I can around the bottom. I wouldn't add more than an inch, but if you're using a pan like this and you need to add a little less, that's fine. It's just going to keep all the good outer stuff on your pumpkin a bit moister so that you don't get that dry crispiness on the outside. And then we're going to put this in the oven for about an hour to hour and 15 minutes. I would check it at about an hour, and I'll show you that when we get to it. So we've had these guys in the oven for an hour now. If your pumpkins are much smaller than this, or if you have them cut into smaller chunks, check them before an hour. Maybe start going in and checking them every half an hour and then every 15 minutes after that. But so I'm going to very carefully flip this up if I can to expose the flesh here. Ooh, there we go. Okay, you can see it's still nice, beautiful color. Sorry, I'm off the camera a little bit there. I'm just going to take a fork and just stick it in and see if it's done. It definitely needs a little bit more time. It's still quite firm. So it's almost there. I'm going to give it maybe 15-20 more minutes and see how it is. Okay, so these guys have taken about an hour and a half to get to where I want them to be, but they're really nice and soft now and ready to go. So we're going to let them sit out on the counter and cool until they're a little bit more handleable, because right now they're too hot to touch. Okay, and with our pumpkins all cooled down, we can finally get down to actually processing the pumpkin part. So I've just got a big metal spoon, and I'm just going to easily start pulling it away from the outer skin. And it comes off really easily. Just watch for little puncture marks in your skin. I got a little bit right there. Let's remove that. We're going to do this until we have our pumpkin as clean as we can get it. And as you can see, if your pumpkin was cooked thoroughly, we were able to get right down to the skin with all that by doing lots and lots of scraping. And it comes off nice and easily. And out of this 1/2 the pumpkin, I have about double what you're seeing right here on the corner. Okay, now we've brought our pumpkin over into our pureer. You could also do this with, or excuse me, our food processor. You could also do this with a blender if you needed to, and you could always do it by hand as well between different types of mashers and whisks and everything else, and just really work at it until you get it nice and see that this is really nice and beautifully smooth. We just kept going and going and going until we got the consistency that we wanted from it. Now you can bring this right over to start cooking with it if you'd like, and you can also freeze it if you like. My suggestion is that when you're freezing it, to freeze in the size of a 15-ounce can, because that is what most recipes are going to call for. Oh, sorry, my son's grabbing the tripod. And that is about 2.5 tablespoons short of 2 cups. So that's what I usually do, is do it in equivalents of that. And then I can easily pull out a portion and start baking with it whenever I want to. I freeze it right in normal freezer bags. You can do whatever works for you. You can also store this in the fridge for, I'd say, probably about up to a week, but keep a close eye on it. Otherwise, I hope you guys get the chance to do this and do some amazing fall baking, and also freeze some so that you can have that yummy pumpkin stuff all year round. Otherwise, I thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate all of your support. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I love hearing from you guys. Otherwise, we will see you in the next one. I love you all. God bless, and bye-bye. Bye.